Everywhere you go, young people have been labeled. The young people we work with are your next professionals, are your next mothers, are your next fathers. I was heading for distraction. And there's somebody who said, come, let's work together. And they saw potential. In those busy schedules, you need to schedule time with your kids.
How do you release people from their duties? Like with kindness. I mean, like it's a difficult thing to do to having to release people, especially when you have a relationship with them. But it's just that the finances of the organization cannot carry their salaries. And how do you process picking who to release even and not having to release yourself? It's like stuff I was telling myself that
I think in their Caesar is you work in a team that believe in your leadership. And then also make sure that you are transparent with people. Because any protest ngalenza is to hide izinto. And then abantu bese beba surprised uma izinto sezenzeka. So I think as leaders, kwesinye isikhathi kubalulekile just be transparent. I don't know why we have to hide. When it comes to money, people feel uncomfortable talking about money.
Yeah.
But I had to make people aware.
Did you have to disclose everything from the get-go?
I had to. I think we had started the process even. I think what also helped was the fact that some of abantu that I had to let go were working in projects. So a project in a time frame, if it's 2 years, it's just 2 years.
Yeah.
But in the besebenza ngayo as an organization, besinga-employ under the term a project. You were full-time employed.
Yes.
But working under a project.
Yes.
So we had to rectify that. That was the first process to say, okay, because of where we are standing, we can only promise you 2 years because the project will end in 2 years.
Yeah.
So then my period of 2 years, you know what you have to let go of those people.
Oh.
But that's the internal affairs, because sometimes you know yourself I'm employed full time, but indefinitely you're working under a project.
But was this thing did this releasing of people happen when you were on the chair, or even the previous director had to release some people?
Even the previous director.
Praise the Lord.
Even the previous director, because we had to do that. While he was the director and I was the deputy, because we worked together closely. Then, and also in my phase when I took over, I also had to do that, but with his support.
Okay, 100%.
So he was still around.
Sure. So now you work at this organization, and did your 3 years finish? What happened?
3 years waphela. Then in my 4th year, I started being frustrated with work, with the environment. And also nasekhaya, Nkosikazi was like, when are we leaving this community?
Oof.
So I was living in that environment where, like, okay, my wife is tired of this environment, but how are we going to leave because we're ministering here? I had forgotten about 3 years also.
Yes.
So we just...
Diploma,
yeah. So you're working, but you're frustrated. You look like things are not really working out and all of that. Then I also started praying. I started applying. Sometimes we apply umsebenzi obona ukuthi if bengangiqashi like should corruption ngempela exist, because I qualify yonke into abayidingayo, I have it. So
not like me. You know, I used to apply for, I'm a postable director. And I had just finished matric.
Oh, wow.
Director of Arts and Communication. Applying. Just like I was going for the big boys, bro.
Yo.
You know, imagine back before 2010, I was applying for like million per annum.
Jeez.
Anyway.
That's a big dream.
They called me for an interview in one of the things, bro. Yeah, I was gonna kill them. But at the interview, I had no idea what these guys were talking about. To be honest. Anyways, yeah. When are you qualified? Not like
me. But I never got interviews. That's the sad part. At least when I got interview. So I stopped applying because I never got interviews. Then I said to God, the next time I apply, at least I need to go for an interview.
Yeah.
So when I saw a poster as African Enterprise, I saw it and I didn't really apply. But in conversations with different people who knew I was looking for a job, the same poster it came back to me from the people I trusted about CISA in terms of counsel. Then I applied. Among applier, the closing day was exactly the same day I applied, which was Saturday, then Monday I received a call to say come for an interview, which I went. Then I did my interview. Going back home, there was nothing that says this is your job. I went back and then I was called for a second interview. Then with second interview, they wanted me to present how I'm going to run the program. Then I prepared, I went, I did my presentation. Then they say to me, you are the only person who's back for a second interview and we want to employ you.
Okay, that's cool.
I promise I was not excited.
How?
Yeah, I was not. I don't think my heart was ready to leave Etimbeni.
Yeah.
Because I always look at Etimbeni as has built the person that I am.
Yeah.
So, and also knowing that we had to let go of people, restructure.
Yes.
Now you're thinking, is it the right time?
Down. Yeah.
You see. But then God reminded me, 3 years was over, that's why you were frustrated.
So you had to
then that gave me peace to say, actually, I also prayed to God that the next time I apply, I need an interview.
Yeah.
And now I got the job. Then I went back to tell my wife, is your wife happy to move here? Because we moved now in Popomeni to Msebenzi Lashlala Khona. Then I was reminded that God has been preparing her for the whole year. Because she's been saying, when are we moving out of this community? So that's just a confirmation with Nkulunkulu at one.
That's great, bro. So Etimbeni, were you working with young people exclusively, or was it involving abantu abadala as well?
Sure. I worked with everyone, but the entry was working with kids and youth.
Okay. So
but then as I grew in the organization, then I started working with everyone.
Yeah, but you say broader scope. Okay, so tell us
what English word.
Yeah. It's just like one of those. Wait. So now, just give us a little brief of what you do with the young people that you work with now.
Okay. So I work with the Foxfire Abandabasha who finished matric or university who wants to give a year to serve God. And into esiyenzayo is just to disciple them to be leaders. That's in short.
You disciple them to be leaders.
We disciple them to be leaders. What we believe is that the young people we work with are your next professionals, are your next mothers, are your next fathers. So if you give them values, as in their walk with God, you can see if you give values is wherever you are a leader. You're leading yourself and those that are following you. And also leadership is not a position, it's a lifestyle. If you are given a leadership position, it's just a delegation of authority for people to follow. But in this way, recognize is your lifestyle, which is a leader. That's something that we are teaching these young people.
So you said leadership authority is?
So So leadership position is a delegation of authority.
Ooh.
So that you can operate and people to respond to that authority.
Okay. Yo, that's cool. So out of all the ages that you would choose to work with, why the young people? It seems like you were recruited, for lack of a better word, you were recruited as a young person. You get involved in an organization that works with young people, and right now you're still working with young people. And do you still consider yourself young?
I am young.
At heart.
I'm young in all the angles. I am young. I will die young.
Bruh. You know, when we are asked to, would say people under 35 should stand, I was asked, you're still even qualifying this thing, bruh. Yeah. But anyways, why?
They don't talk age, they just say, if you are young and you hear stand, I'll stand.
I understand.
Yeah, because I'll die young.
I understand. Okay, so why this age group of young people?
Sure.
Why is it? What is your why?
The one thing why is I was heading for distraction. Then there's somebody who said, come, let's work together. And they saw potential. And then they nurtured it to a point where I realized which now there's something in me. It took me also back to 2001. High school, where I received a certificate as the most responsible learner in the entire school.
Wow.
I don't know how they came to that, but like reflecting in my journey, I guess there was something of being responsible, initiating izinto. Don't wait to be told. And
wow. So I know that you travel around, let's say, the SADC countries, and hopefully next year you're going to somewhere in Europe with the team.
By the grace of God.
Yeah, why not, man? You know, but what is one common struggle that you see with young people?
Sure.
What is one thing that people in Swaziland, in Lesotho, in South Africa, in the suburb, in the township, in the rural areas,
Sure.
What is one common thing that young people really struggle with, and how can we intervene in that thing?
Sure. The one big thing, Clara, is everywhere you go, young people have been labeled. Uguti abalaleli. There's many words that we use to describe them. And the challenge, but they just need that one person who believes in them, that one person who will sit them down and try and find out who they are. Because most of them, but a defense mechanism, as if all of us, we are against them. But the moment they see that you have an interest in their lives, then they can open up to you. So they just need that one person who can pay attention to who they are and help them to open up, so that you can help to guide, because they need guidance. A lot of young people are broken. They walk broken. They just need, and the funny part is Tina, we label them, but Tina is so broken. I have 2 kids. I'm married. I have 2 kids.
Yeah, of course.
Now, these 2 kids, and Bama PK, you will know the story about PKs.
Yeah.
With one, I'm at depression, they are struggling, whatnot. I will be the reason if my kids grew up broken.
Oof. And
that's one thing I'm trying to make sure, which as broken as I was, I don't pass that to my kids. It ends.
And how do you help us as young parents? How do you nurture that?
Sure.
How do you nurture that in your family? for your kids to have a healthy family culture?
Sure.
How do you do it?
Yeah. There's no book that will help you to raise kids. Mhlambe angaba khona, but ukhumbule ukuthi lo wabhalile we're not raising your own kids because kids are different. The one thing that I'll say mhlambe ingane ziyayidinga is that when you're at home you are a father, you are not a leader. Then they need to feel the love of a father. As a pastor, I don't want them to see me as a pastor. I want them to see me as a father. And also, uma befuna ukudlala nawe idlala nabo, which is sometimes because we have busy schedule. In those busy schedule, you need to schedule time with your kids. Also, don't treat them the same because they are different. You need to make sure you create time for those individual kids that you are raising. And then if you are given something that you love, you need to protect. You need to seek the best interest. I always appreciate my daughter. If ngihambile, she will always give me a note when I come back.
Wow.
To say I was looking forward for you coming back home.
Yeah.
Then I ask myself, what is it that I'm doing that makes her to feel like I'm looking forward to him coming back? Recently, ubhalile kwinote ukuthi you make us feel safe.
Yeah.
So to hear those words, I don't know. I guess God helps us also.
Yes, yeah.
Because some of the things that we do Ekaya with my wife is we pray with them, and we do. They've never seen us fighting. Mina ngithi ngitshele ukuthi bekuliwa mina ekhaya.
Yeah.
But siyalo well, not to siyalo, but siba nama arguments.
Yes.
But they've never experienced any of that. So we're protecting them even from such things. Yeah, and just look at how do you allow them to be kids. Create a space where they can be kids. Celebrate my success. Like namhlanje, I was esikoleni sakhe kade dancer. I could see that out of all people in Daibona and Babu Ake of the audience.
Yeah.
I even have a video where I'm thinking there's a partner in front of you. You're not even looking at your partner.
Yeah.
He's just looking at you. Ubab.
Yeah.
A day before Begang Boza, are you coming to my dance? If I didn't go, there's something that would have been missing in Pilonyak.
Sure.
Because as soon as he walked on stage, I could see he was looking, where's my dad?
Yeah.
So those are the things that you just make sure when Ben is sporty, make time and go.
So that's really incredible. Tell us about this thing of being present, because you can be available but not present. You know, and what are the
like my experience?
What are the pros and cons of that? Yeah.
Yeah, I think the one way to be present is that when I come back from work, I need to switch off so that I can be present. Switching off means like kids have a way of wanting your attention, and I've learned to know when they need babwabo. Then I will put the phone down and listen to them.
Sure.
Sometimes they will tell you silly stories, but for them it means a lot. And for you to acknowledge ukuthi they are saying something. Appreciate them. Uba ncome futhi. Ngisho nje benza into obonayo ukuthi kahle kahle this is silly, just bancome. That creates a bond between you nengane.
Wow. Yo, that is so amazing, Vince, you know. And do you think leadership has an age limitation?
No, it doesn't. As I mentioned, leadership is more on a lifestyle, really.
Yeah.
I've seen leadership qualities in my daughter.
Yeah.
There are things that shows ukuthi akacabangi manje.
Yeah.
She always think ahead, and that's the nature of a leader.
So
ngene ebhavu ngiyogeza mhlawumbe uthi imopa ayikho.
Yeah.
Mangiphuma uzobe seyibeke eduze kwelo khonje.
Yeah.
Why is she thinking that way? I can easily see ukuthi akhona esikoleni we were told ukuthi usiza othisha.
Yeah.
Qeda umsebenzi wakhe akwazi ukusiza othisha. So there's something of leadership.
Beautiful.
Now as a parent, I need to create spaces for her to nurture leadership engiyibonayo again. So spending time with them, you can also see the potential ekhona kubo, which is something that I also got to experience.
No, that's amazing, Vesu. Just another question, Vesu. When young people drop the ball and mess up, how do you not write them off and kindly bring them back to life?
Sure.
Because as young people, your life is not always perfect. You're not always making the right decisions, and you work with young people, almost every day. How do you realign them to the purpose, to the core, to what you guys are being about?
Yeah, that's a big question because that's not easy. Sometimes you think you want to just crush them, but then you remember what you now get walapaya.
Yeah. So
the way to help is be aware which they know they've messed up. Through friendship, they will come to you, because without a friendship, it's not gonna be easy for them.
Yeah.
Manga in front of you, and you think right.
Yeah.
So create a friendship who allow them to trust you.
Yeah.
Because I think through a trust, they know when we come to you, we're not coming to you to judge us, and we know what you're not going to judge us.
Yeah.
But for you to do that is when you acknowledge who they are.
Mm-hmm.
And iBhayibheli lithi uNkulunkulu akasibuki ngokona kwethu, because sikhave igazi likaKristu. So when you think about that, if a young person comes to you and say, I've messed up, you must think ukuthi yini menze wangithemba uzongitshela, because not all of them will do that.
Yes.
So, and for you is to make them feel safe in your hands. And that's the only way you can correct them.
Yo, that's great. Just last question. How would you like to be remembered for?
I think for me, if anyone were to remember me as how I made them feel, and if ngabenza feel valued, for me that will be enough.
So guys, what an exciting, amazing episode. There's a lot that I've just learned today. I've learned that Isthembu is not as glamorous as it looks. I've learned that integrity will take you a long way. And we as we work in life, you need to work in a team and be transparent, especially when it's things that come to finances as well. And leadership is not a position; it's a lifestyle, and we need to see a potential, and because someone did see a potential in you when you were walking towards destruction, and everywhere you go, we know that young people have been labeled as in different words, people always complain saying, what's I'm at 2000 this, I'm at 2000 that, but these 2000 people are the same leaders that are going to take the next generation to the future, and they've got a defense mechanism, and the way to unlock that is just to draw closer and build relationship and build friendship, and the heart will be unlocked. And we need to create spaces to nurture young people. Even if you go to a tuck shop or if you go to a mall, just take someone along the way, and because people see a lot of what you do more than what you say, and your family is so important, and we need to create a space where we allow and give opportunities to our children to see us leading and to see us thriving, and to encourage them and to be present and not just to be available. Uti, you are being seen as a seko, but being present as a person and as a parent is the most critical thing that you will ever do. So Kela, thank you so much, sir, for coming through to All Things Leadership Podcast. There's a lot to learn from you. Really appreciate you. Appreciate those coffees. Those coffees. You travel a lot, but you create time, and that's the most important thing. Siyabonga kakhulu. Dank.
Sure. No, but Siyabonga. Thank you. Thanks, man.